Welcome back to my art toolbox, and we're going to continue with this style of type painting here that you see behind me. I'm going to be demonstrating or showing you all how I add clouds into a calm, very serene type sky. So right now you can see I've already got my sky already added into my canvas, and this is a 16 by 20 inch size canvas. It's already primed, and if you've been keeping up with my videos on how or what technique is applied into adding such sky, you know that we always start with the top of the sky going from dark, and as we go further down we get lighter. So I've got my brushes here, and for the color paint we're going to be using just a titanium white, which I have here. And now for these particular type clouds, because the setting of the sky is a very calm and serene type sky, we're going to be adding that type of feeling of our clouds into the sky as well. So I've got a linear brush here, and this is a number 3. This is a number 3 linear brush. And you can pretty much use whatever type brush that you feel comfortable with, and whatever size you feel comfortable with, depending on, I guess, the size of the canvas as well. But I've also got a round brush here, and this is a number 6. This is number 6 round brush. You can use flat brush as well. Again, just depending on you as the artist and what type of clouds you'll be adding into your sky. So first step, we want to make sure, because we're using acrylic paints, we want to make sure that we add water to our brush. And you can use, some painters, some artists, they use paint thinner, a little paint thinner if they want to thin out the paint, apply it onto the canvas. But I use, for beginners, we stick with water. So I add a little water to my brush. I'm using the round brush. And for these clouds, I want to make sure that the tip of my brush is pointed, okay? So I want a pointed tip of my brush. And we won't be using a lot of titanium white to create these clouds. And I'm going to add some of this titanium white onto my brush, and I'm just adding this on the tip of my brush. And as I'm adding this, I'm kind of giving my brush a little bit of a twirl, as you can see there. Get a good amount on the tip. So next step, I'm gonna go into my canvas and just pick a spot as to where I want to start my first cloud at. And when I do this first cloud, I just want to create kind of like the top outline of what I envision my cloud to be, or how it to appear on my canvas. So let's say I'm going to start here. I always like the right side, so I'm going to start here on the right side. And this is how I'm envisioning just this first cloud here, just the outline of the top portion of it. So I'm going to go in here and lay down my paint. So hopefully you can see this. I've just added kind of like an outline of my first cloud here. My next step is I'm going to take this outline, and now I'm going to formulate the particular type cloud that I want created into my sky here. So I've got paint already on my brush. I'm going to add just a tad bit of water on the tip of my brush. And I didn't add any more paint, just a little bit of water on the tip. I'm gonna come back in here into my cloud where I just added my outline, and just underneath that outline, I'm gonna take my brush, and with the circular type motion, I'm gonna start creating my cloud in full. And here we go. So, kind of fast, circular, swift type motions to create this cloud. Circular motion, circular motion. Create that cloud. Now, the formation of a cloud is not perfect. It's not a perfect shape. And clouds, they overlap each other, they attach with each other, they're big, they're small, they're just all different types of shapes. So you don't want to be perfect when you're creating clouds in the sky. I'm going to bring this here a little closer to you all so you can see. Now that took me about 1 minute just to create that. So now this is the formation of my first cloud. Okay. And as you can see here, I've created a cloud, kind of give it a little bit of life by adding a little bit of thickness towards the center, and on each end here I've kind of thinned them out a bit to kind of give a little bit realism type feel here. So on each end they're a bit thinner, and towards the middle I've got them a bit puffy to give them a little bit life. So let's move on, let's add our second cloud. Now I'm gonna go back in here and clean my brush. I'm gonna clean my brush because I've got extra blue added into this brush here, and I just want white. So I'm gonna clean my brush. Go in here to my titanium white and add a little more white on the tip of my brush. Okay. Now when I add my second cloud in here, one thing you want to keep in mind when you're adding clouds this type of way is we don't want to create what I have a tendency to call is kind of like a channeling effect. We don't want to create clouds like in a row type formation, right? You never really see clouds in the sky in more realistic fashion, in a row type fashion, right? Or a row type way. So we want them kind of randomly placed on our canvas board. So for my second cloud, I'm going to attach it to my first one. However, I'm going to attach it towards towards the top area of it. Not in a row, but it's just going to be placed a little bit above the first one. So again, I have my paint on the tip of my brush. I'm going to come in here and create the outline of my second cloud, which is here. Just the outline. Just the outline of my second cloud. I can go in here and add a little bit of water. Just on the tip, just a tad bit of water on the tip of the brush now. Don't drown it, just on the tip. I'm gonna come back in here and just underneath just underneath this outline, I'm going to start creating my cloud. The full version of my cloud. Circular motion again. Envision this. Envision this shape of your cloud. Envision it. Come on in there. You spread it out a bit. Circular motion. Okay. So this here now, I've got my second cloud. It's a bit wider. We gave it a little bit different feel. It's a bit wider, bit thicker. Gave it different feel and size and lengthwise as opposed to our first one. And what we've also done here, as I started creating the fullness of this cloud, you can see that towards the very top there's a bit of a kind of white outline there. Okay. So this kind of gives you a bit kind of idea of how my clouds are created into, or how we create clouds using just a round brush in a circular motion with just very little paint to create these soft and kind of very misty, kind of serene feeling of clouds into the sky here. So let's go ahead and let's do another. I'm gonna clean my brush again. Add a little titanium white on the tip. I'm gonna roll the tip so it's pointed. I'm gonna come in here, pick another spot. Let's move on over here to the left side, or to this side. Now let's do one, let's say about right here. Create the outline. Here we go. Here's my outline. Add just a tad bit of water on the tip. And I can come back in here just underneath this outline in the circular motion. And yeah, start creating a formation of your cloud. Okay, so what you will notice in this type of technique here as you're creating the cloud, the actual full formation of the cloud, is with acrylic paints, the more that you keep going in circular motion, the less paint you're going to be using, or the more paint you're going to be using. So the more paint that you use as you're going into the circular motion the more you're going to create this filling. The cloud is just kind of towards the ends here. It's just kind of creates that feeling like it's just kind of fading off, okay? Where it's kind of just fading away there towards the end. And that's what you really want. And this type of kind of feel of the clouds with this particular type of sky. So we'll just add a few more in here. We don't want to put too many in here and overwhelm our sky or our painting. You know, I've always said, you know, and always had this thing in the back of my mind too when it comes to cloud, less is more. But you don't want to overwhelm your clouds and create the feeling like when viewers look at your painting, all they will see is just a sky full of clouds. So you just want a few just to, you know, present the outlook that clouds do exist in the sky. So I hope you enjoyed this video of mine on creating clouds, and we will continue on in my next video. Thanks again. We'll see you then.